Let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams in this ball game, and let's begin with the Philadelphia Eagles. Last week we saw their running game struggle a bit against the Washington Redskins, and I'm not as concerned about the yardage total more so than the attempts or lack thereof. Philly talked all offseason about getting their ground game going, and that talk didn't even make it out of week 1 with Carson Wentz throwing 39 passes. Any running back will tell you that it's the consistency of the carries that gets them going in the ball game, and any quarterback will tell you that the play action passing game is even deadlier when you're able to run the ball. Remember, it's about attempts over yards 9 times out of 10. Defensively, the second level will have to play outstanding against the Chiefs. I thought this was an underrated storyline for the Eagles in week 1. They played great at the second level, both versus the run and also against the pass. Against Kansas City, crossers and mesh concepts will be on full display, and the communication has to be there once again to be effective. Also, in defending a running back like Kareem Hunt, it's important to have more than one backer get there to bring him down. Philly played great team defense last week and can use an encore performance. Carson Wentz made some excellent plays off script last week, one of which led to a deep touchdown pass to Nelson Aguilar, and a few others led to him being able to convert on third downs. Now, there were a few passes that could have gone the other way. One did actually, albeit off of a tip pass. So Wentz has to be sure to be a little bit careful this week with his placement and his accuracy, because the Kansas City Chiefs rarely miss opportunities to turn the ball over. Moving over to the Chiefs in this ball game, second half Alex Smith has to show up in the first quarter this week versus Philadelphia. Smith played some bad football for about a quarter and a half against the Patriots, then caught fire right before the half and was money in the third and fourth quarters. If he continues to push the ball intermediate to deep downfield like this offense can have performances like we saw in the opener all season long. One big reason for the Chiefs' offensive outburst was due to the play of their offensive line. The Chiefs were dominating up front against New England and face a stiffer test this week in what could arguably be the best defensive line in football. The Eagles don't give up much ground versus the run, and they are relentless in getting after the quarterback and can do so from across the defensive line with multiple players. This will be a big-time litmus test for the front five in KC. In the secondary, they have to be able to communicate a lot better. Gone is Eric Berry for the season with an Achilles injury, and that's a guy that did a great job in communicating on the back end. The Eagles run a lot of concepts that are designed to take advantage of miscommunication on the back end, and if that happens, they'll find themselves not being able to get off the field on third downs. The biggest X factor in this ball game for Philadelphia is defensive back JAYLEN WATKINS. And I say defensive back because he can play corner or safety, and I think he has the skill set to match up against any one of Kansas City's wide receivers. That's Tyreek Hill, maybe that's DeAnthony Thomas, or even Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. Philadelphia has to find a way to get him involved and move him around the formation in order to take away one or two of perhaps Kansas City's key options in the passing game. For Kansas City, I look at Daniel Sorensen, the guy that's replacing Eric Berry, and they're going to need him to step up and be much more of a communicative presence on the back end. He has to make sure he gets everyone lined up properly. They have to communicate well on the back end, and he also has to do his job in matching up versus one of the outstanding tight ends that Philadelphia brings to the table. He cannot be a liability in this ball game, otherwise this defense could struggle. I like Kansas City in this ball game. This will be a fun game to watch because of the familiarity with both coaching staffs they have, and they run similar schemes, and I think both defenses will come ready to play. The difference will come on the offensive side of the football. Which quarterback can you trust to make plays? Which running game can you trust to be consistent? Which offense has the most dynamic threats to ring up that cash register pretty quickly? And to me, all three tilt toward Kansas City. So I see the Chiefs winning this one at home and moving on to 2-0.